I asked Renee to marry me, and my heart just pitter-pattered.
You are exactly the kind of person that I would like to spend the rest of my life with.
Her joy for life, zest, sense of humor.
He just had character. He had all that stuff that you want to raise children with.
The image of our life together was almost storybook.
May 16th, 1988, Mike Bondi and his fiancée Renee were 2 months away from their fairy tale wedding. The night before, Mike had given Renee her engagement ring.
Went to bed that night feeling great. The next thing I know, I woke up out of a sound, deep sleep, diving off the foot of my bed onto my head. After several different ways of trying to get up, every time I felt this piercing pain in my neck, the strangest sensation came over my body. The only way to describe it is as a wave of silence. I realized I can't get up.
Renee never got up. In an instant, in a freak accident with no explanation, Renee had broken her neck. When she awoke in intensive care, her priest had his hands on her praying. Then he spoke these words.
You are completely paralyzed from the neck down. You will never walk again. You will never be able to use your fingers or your hands. You'll never sit up without throwing up. And you certainly will not sing again.
Devastating words, especially for 29-year-old bride-to-be. Renee was also a gifted singer with a dream career teaching music. She's one of 4 children from a strong Christian home. She remembers experiencing a personal relationship with Jesus Christ beginning at age 15. This relationship sustained Renee through the shock. What were you praying?
Lord, let me be your miracle. Let me just glorify you through the miracle that you're going to throw me. And I really, truly thought that he was going to do it, because that's the kind of God I served. It's the God of miracles. And so I just really knew I was going to walk out of there.
Both of us, due to our faith and our walk, believed that we would walk out of the hospital.
But 5 months later, Renee left the hospital in a wheelchair.
When that day came, I was scared to death to go out into the real world this way.
It was like a wave of, a very, very heavy wave that came over both of us.
And I sobbed the whole way home, And Mike did too, I mean, in his own way. And so it went from fear to just deep pain, deep sadness, deep loss, deep grieving the death of my body.
Be not afraid.
But through it all, Renee felt the comfort of the Lord, especially through the words of hymns she had sung hundreds of times in the past. Mike also continued to stand by Renee.
Yes, there was concern, there was fear, but in my real simple mind, and I think sometimes you have to break it down to just your faith, that God will lift you through trials and tragedy. I knew in my heart that we would be okay.
A year later, October 21st, 1989, Mike and Renee did marry. As they faced the daily challenges of living together, their prayers began to change.
Okay, Lord, I'm still going to pray for the total healing, but now I just pray for the courage, the faith, the decisions to get us through each day.
I can look back now and see so many times that God has provided for me in these last years.
Part of God's provision has come through the restoration of Renee's singing. Her voice was nothing but a whisper after the accident. She was never expected to sing again. Yet 4 years later, Renee did sing. She soon became a popular speaker and performer, and she's gone on to become one of the largest independent Christian recording artists. Proceeds from her CD sales offset the staggering costs of her personal care.
There's such an outpouring of prayers from various churches throughout this country Her ministry is reaching international proportions today.
Nobody's more amazed than I am that I'm a recording artist. I mean, nobody's more amazed than I am.
Yet 6 years after her accident, Renee received something even more amazing, an incredible answer to prayer. She became pregnant.
So we had prayed long and hard of discerning on whether I should start a family this way. Pretty frightening.
Just 9 days before Renee was due to deliver her baby, tragedy struck again. Her sister Michelle was injured in a dirt bike accident while vacationing. She broke her back.
And now she too would be permanently confined to the wheelchair. And that there would be 2 in our family now, permanently confined to the chair.
What were you feeling emotionally?
I was crying, saying, Lord, this baby has to be perfect. Our family can't handle one more thing.
Her baby boy Daniel, now 7, was perfect, and God has enabled Renee to take perfectly good care of him. But what about Renee's sister, Michelle?
I knew that God would see her through it, that the definition of okay had dramatically changed, but that she would still be okay. We truly don't believe that God caused our accidents. We don't think that God broke my neck or God broke her back. I do believe that our family has been sifted like wheat. And I really do think that that analogy of the diamond in the rough or the sifting of the wheat, it really is true in our family because our faith has been honed.
Renee tells the complete story of her triumphant faith in her book, The Last Dance, but not the last song. She also continues to share her testimony before packed crowds across the country.
Early on, I prayed every day, several times a day, for healing. But as years went by, my prayer shifted towards surrendering how to live this way. Because, obviously, it was not God's time right now. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that my God is a mighty God. And if it was His will, I would be zing out of this chair immediately. I know that. And I don't doubt that at all. My faith is strong in that particular department.
What would you say to someone to encourage their walk with the Lord?
That the Lord is faithful. I can look back and see how many times He has been present. And although I have not received what some people would call the ultimate miracle of walking again, I can look back and see how many miracles along the way that the Lord has placed right in my lap.